So out again this morning for another quick bash at a spring fish, and the water here has fairly fallen back, but I'm assured it's at a fishable height. And obviously there's lots of big holes and stuff in here where a spring fish might just decide to lie, you know. So I think we're still in with a chance. But I thought I would just start here. Obviously I'm going to work down towards where I can catch the wave. But while I haven't disturbed this ground, it seems sensible just to put the fly over it and cover it, you know. The wind's in the northeast, bitterly cold. There was sleet this morning. Dear knows what else there might be. I was actually surprised there wasn't snow on the hills, but it doesn't seem to be, so. So this is my fourth day in search of the mythical Lewis spring salmon. And I've managed to sort of fail to hook one. I don't think I could say I quite lost it. I don't think it was on long enough to count as lost. I don't know. It's probably a regulation, isn't it? And I also saw one here a few days back. So I'm pretty confident there's a very few fish about, you know. Now, last night, again, this morning there was quite big tides again, so you're always hopeful that, you know, something might just make its way in off one of the big tides, you know, and I mean, I don't see why it wouldn't. It's still a bit early in the year, but there's always a chance, and what a lovely place, like, fantastic just to stand here. Plus it's handy for the road, good for fat people, you know. If you're unfit like me. Do them a line. So because I don't know this water at all well, I'm just trying to cover as much of it as I can. So I'm trying to place casts pretty much, you know, out that sort of fan thing that you do, whereby you try and fan them out, because I don't know where the fish actually are likely to lie. I mean, could be there's like a no one lie here or something, where there's always a fish behind a given rock. I simply don't know. Last day I was here, I saw a fish move sort of somewhere along that groin on the opposite side. So that's why I'm happy enough to be putting some line out there, because a salmon will often lie, you know, on the upwind side of a construction like that. So it's no bad thing at all to be putting the fly onto the front of it, you know. So I'm starting to feel like I've covered most of this that looks promising at least once, you know. I'm seeing no sign or movement. Doesn't mean to say there isn't a fish here, but certainly I'm starting to feel like I've sort of done my bit, you know. So what I might do is rattle down the river. There's a to the bottom pool down there where there might be a tiny bit of shelter for making of a cup of tea. Because I'm just not at the minute sort of feeling this, you know. So I come down here into the shelter of the rocks and whatnot a wee bit, just to have a cup of tea. And you know, when the sun's out, it's not too bad, but once it goes in, it's very cold. And then I'm gonna fish down this wee pool ahead of me, I think, give it a quick throw, if there's enough water in it. I think there should be, you know. Oh, well, the tea's good. Tea's very good. So I'll give that a throw and we'll see how it goes. And then I might go work my way back up towards the loch again. With the bright sun and so on, it's not feeling very hopeful, but I'll give it a bash. We'll see how we go. And once I've had the cup of tea and a quick run down here, it'll be time for lunch, you know. So just not put too much effort in, I think. So this middle bit of the pool's pretty dead. So I'm just fishing it like I would if it were a wee loch, you know, keeping the flies moving, covering a few different angles. I think it's quite deep, you know, so I mean, I do think it could easily hold the fish. Oh, well, wind kind of came a bit against me there, you know. So don't know if there's enough water in here to actually hold the fish. Might be very shallow for all I know, because I didn't want to go too close to it and scout it out, just in case there is a fish lying in it. But as you can see, this is the main part of the pool here, and it's certainly deep, you know. And this is like a wee taily bit, sort of coda, you know. It just seems worth putting the fly down it quickly as I come past. Not only that, but the wind's not too bad for it. You know, it's coverable. It's quite breezy, so casting into it's, you know, not great fun, got to say. Actually, even holding the rod up isn't great fun, just with some of the bigger gusts. That's better. I'll just keep moving fairly quickly down this. Again, I have no idea where a fish might lie in this pool. I mean, you can do the kind of the normal eyeball thing, you know, but there probably are people who could tell you where you'd want to stand, you know. I actually saw a wee fish rise out there, a wee trout or something. And it's about the first fish I've seen all day. It's amazing I haven't even seen a brown trout or touched a brown trout. Usually you get a few wee brown trout or a finnock or something. But this is just completely dead, you know. So, I think I'll have my lunch. I think that's the most productive thing to do. Because there's just a wee wave in this, I'm going to take a quick bash down it. Just the tail here, and I'm not going to spend much time on it. Just where I can get a cast I'm going to. It's not so easy with the wind, but you know. It's also got really cold. Like, I mean, it was really cold, but it seems to have got like much colder. I'm expecting snow at any minute. Oh, I mean, I've already had sleet and so on and so forth earlier, and it wouldn't surprise me now to get that it snowed on me, you know. So I had one of my rolls for my lunch. I still have another one remaining, which I might lay about in due course. But I thought I'll have one, have a wee cast here, and then I might go back up to the loch, to where the river comes into the loch, and give that another bash, and then have another roll, and that'll be me pretty much done. So far, I mean, I haven't even touched a trout or anything, so it's been a pretty weird day, you know, but it feels extremely dead at the minute. You kind of hope when you say that that's when your fortunes change, don't you? Go. Required a sort of slight modification to that cast in the middle of it with the change in the wind. Oh dear. I've come up to the loch now for a few final casts before calling it quits. Again, I mean, the fact that I haven't moved even a trout or anything would seem to, well, not to bode well, you know. I just don't know what has gone on today. But I'll give it a wee rattle here before just packing up and heading for home, I think. So I think that's my spring salmon fishing over for another year. I think we'll just call it done at that. 4 great days out. Sort of had a fish on for a couple of seconds. Saw a fish here, but unfortunately I didn't manage to put anything on the bank. But Lewis is not a spring fishery, it's a grilse fishery. Nobody fishes it for spring fish, so really expecting success, well, success is unexpected, but nonetheless it's been great to get the chance, especially because it's just too cold to be bothered going to trout, you know. So I was able to make some entertaining use of the days that I might otherwise have spent chasing a trout, or failing to. Well, you know this, I might have had more success at the salmon than I would have had if I'd gone to trout most days, because it feels cold enough for snow here at the minute. Indeed, I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't. So that's the spring fishing over for another year.